विश्वम्भरा वसुधाने प्रतिष्ठा हिरण्यवक्षा जगतो निवेशनी वैश्वानरं बिभ्रती भूमिरग्निम् इन्द्ररषभाद्रविणे दधातु. Salutations to Mother Earth. She is Vishwambhara, all-bearing. She is Vasudha, producer of all wealth. She is Pratishtha, foundation on which we live. She is Hiranyavaksha, of golden bosom, and the dwelling place of the world. She holds Vaishvanara, universal fire within her, the fire which empowers Indra and Rishabha. May the Mother Earth bestow on us the splendor of fire and make us strong. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thanks, Raghu. Today's webinar is by Dr. Parag Mankeekar on a very novel and important topic, from privilege to planet. Why empathy should drive the sustainability. After receiving the flyer, one of my friends said that we have chosen a very important topic, and then added a comment that many policymakers and planners forget about the empathy, even the sympathy, while taking up the developmental work. So I'm sure today's webinar will help all of us in developing sympathy as well as empathy while talking about the sustainability. Before somebody introduces Parag, I will request our Karthikeyan to give just a background about our Vasudha project, because many of the people are new here, as well as Parag also is not aware. So I request Karthikeyan to introduce Vasudha exhibition. Over to Karthikeyan.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to everybody. As Vasudevji said, I would like to give an overview about Vasudha. So Vasudha is an initiative of VK Nadab. As you all know, VK Nadab is an initiative of Vivekananda Kendra, Kanyakumari, Tamil Nadu. VK Nadab is specialized in promoting sustainable solutions for today's world problems. For last 3 to 4 decades, VK Nadab has been working on sustainable technologies like sustainable housing, sustainable agriculture, sustainable energy, this kind of things. Recently, we have promoted another pillar of VK Nadab, sustainable lifestyles. That is called Vasudha. Vasudha means Mother Earth. So we intend to promote this initiative as a resource center for people who are intended to lead the sustainable lifestyles, and people who are inspired and who are aspiring to lead such kind of lives. So as part of this initiative, we have done a series of activities, like we have formed a working group of eminent people from all over the country, around 20-30 senior people, experienced people of different sectors of the country are part of this working group. So this working group meets every week like this, the same time, Sunday at 10 o'clock, meet and discuss various activities of Vasudha. So in fact, this is the backbone of this resource center, Vasudha Resource Center. So in addition to this, Vasudha has published three series of uh, publications in a journal called academic journal called Vivekananda Kendra Patrika. So around 100 articles on different subjects of sustainable lifestyles from different authors, eminent authors have been manuscripted and published. It's widely available for reading. So it acts as a knowledge base. So everyone wants to anyone wants to understand the key concepts about the sustainable lifestyle, sustainable living. So this is the knowledge base for the people who are interested in this subject. And in addition to this, to create awareness among the common public, Vasudha has been regularly publishing social media products like YouTube videos, uh, reels, shorts, this kind of social media products, and it is made available for the common public. So in addition to this, we have launched a website, Vasudha India website, so which acts as a knowledge platform. It has all resources which we have developed. Anyone can go to the website and see all these things. And we have conducted a series of workshops and training programs for different categories of the public, college students, aspirants of sustainable living, uh, yeah, civil society organization workers, and different categories of people. We have been organizing training programs on sustainable lifestyles. In fact, in the last week of December, this month, we are organizing a TOT, trainers, a training of trainers workshop on sustainable lifestyles, which is being organized in Kanyakumari for 5 days. In fact, you must have received an invitation for the workshop also. For people who are interested to participate in the workshop, they can register their participation. And very importantly, we have also launched a digital exhibition at Kanyakumari at the campus of Vivekananda Kendra, which talks about sustainable lifestyles. For last 2 years, it has been functioning, and it has received a very positive feedback, and it well received by the common public, and many thousands of people are visiting the digital. So, in addition to this, at least 2 times in a month, we are organizing podcast from different resource people. And today we have a resource person who is going to talk about, and we document their podcast, and we made it make it available for the visibility of common public in our website, and also in YouTube we are uploading. So these are all some of the initiatives we have been doing to promote sustainable lifestyles as a resource center. So this is very short and brief about our Vasudha. So if anything is left out, I request Madan and Vasudevji to add. So thanks for the opportunity. Over to you, Vasudevji. Thank you.
Thanks, Karthikeyan. You have covered most of the areas of Vasudha. Now, before I request our friend to introduce Parag, I would like to inform all of you that I came in contact with Parag Mankeekar through our common friend, architect Rahul Rawat, and structural engineer Himanshu Turpure. And particularly our Sanjay Banerjee will be happy to know that all these three people were involved in a very nice project of trying to understand the footprint of a building, eco footprint, in collaboration with Development Alternatives, which is an NGO of New Delhi, from New Delhi. And in that connection, we had a very nice workshop also at Kanyakumari. At that time, Parag came to Kanyakumari, and since then we are in touch with each other. Now, I have requested our common friend Rahul Rawat to come today and introduce Parag. So, over to Rahul for introducing Parag Mankeekar. Rahul.
Good morning, everyone. And I'm really happy. Thank you so much, Vasudev, that allowing to and giving me opportunity to introduce Parag. Actually, Parag and me, we are friends for last 35 years, and it is very first time that I am introducing formally Parag to somebody and to all of you. So this is the opportunity which Vasudevji you have given it to me, and because of this, I'm going through Parag's total. Our friendship and lifestyle and everything about him. So it is very interesting to look at that from this point of view. Actually, Parag and me, we are friends for last 35 years, and he is my very dearest friend. And we became friends on a playing ground, basically, from Jnana Prabodhini background. So since then we are together. Parag, being formally a medical doctor, a homeopath by training, uh, and he was a core team member in establishing a hospital, affordable hospital, which will prioritize transparency for patients and employ innovative revenue models. So he was team member of doctors there. He also had a postgraduate degree in medical anthropology. He was awarded a Troped Europe Fellowship to study public health through Swiss Tropical Institute in Basel and with 16 other universities across Europe. Basel is in Switzerland. So Parag also has a very extensive experience in disaster preparedness and management, both in the field as well through the development of innovative VR solutions. So you will come to know that he is a very multifaceted personality. He has also worked directly in the areas affected by terrorism, including Punjab, also in Afghanistan. Parag expertise is harnessing global statistical data from 193 countries to cultivate global citizenship and socio-economical skills, emotional skills among young people. We jointly tried and developed a sustainability evaluation tool, which about which Vasuji just told you, and in my last presentation here, I had referred that. So we jointly tried. Uh, so that tool also regarding which he was telling us, Vasuji,
रोमानी
Parag,
थोड़ा सा म्यूट कीजिए आप. रुमानी कलाल, प्लीज म्यूट. थैंक यू.
Parag is the co-founder of Real Life Foundation and has dedicated almost 20 plus years to spearheading the development and global scaling of real life simulation. So, this is the tool about which Vasudev was referring to. It's a groundbreaking tool that connects education with real world challenges. His work is driven by a deep commitment to youth leadership, social entrepreneurship, and fostering empathy, cultural awareness, and sustainability through innovative, gamified experiences that align with sustainable development goals. Parag also is a Ashoka Fellow. So I'm just referring very lightly that he is the Ashoka Fellow, but this fellowship is very well-known fellowship in the world, and he because of this his background, he got this fellowship also. At Real Life Foundation, this technology empowers future leadership to navigate our interconnected world, promoting understanding across diverse cultures and driving the pursuit of sustainability in the life. In addition to his professional endeavors, Parag enjoys traveling, creating network, and has been a TEDx speaker also, and startup advisor and mentor. So I request now Vasudev to allow Parag to start his presentation.
Yeah, over to Parag, please.
Yes. Yeah. So thanks, Rahul. Thanks, Vasudevji. Rahul is a very good friend, and I think he knows much more than what he described about me. Being a good friend, we of course know each other so well. Rahul, it is I think 45 years, not 35. Maybe. I'm just imagining. Anyway, yeah. So the way I'm going to present my work today is in three layers. One is, of course, me and myself, why I shifted to this particular domain of empathy. A little bit about my background, and I'm going to really be very straightforward in putting my thoughts. Mm, I'm not shy person at all. And when you're fighting for doing something or changing the world, you have to really fight it out. It's not like a goody goody world anyway. So so let's start. So basically, the title is big, but it's basically how we are privileged. One part of the world, maybe it's in Mumbai, New York, or somewhere, and then there is another part which is still exists in Mumbai or anywhere in the world, which is really shocking. And fortunately, I got experiences of both the worlds in the best way. I also, I'm trying to kind of challenge the model of Western model of sustainability, which unfortunately many of us are very easy prey for, and we easily adopt it. So in this particular slide, I am talking about Karuna, Daya, and Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which are the gifts, which are the like even the first prayer what we were singing. So our rishis and munis really went beyond the earth. They were in the vast encompass of of the space, and nobody could imagine in the Western world that how we could really come up with this kind of thought process. So through empathy, which is the most fundamental value the Indian civilization talks about or speaks about, or it is ingrained in our genes and DNAs, how that is really being currently ignored by all these big organizations like UN or World Bank or UNESCO or those who talk about sustainability, even the SDGs and everything, and why they are failing. So I'm trying to put a very innovative thought, and I'm working passionately for the last 20 years. So it's a very hard work I am doing. So it's the walk the talk kind of a presentation I'm going to do, and of course what is the impact and how it is being taken across the globe. So I call such iconic places as lighthouses of humanity. And of course everyone remembers the amazing experience you get when you are in meditation room of this particular place, and it's amazing. So I'm trying to connect a lot of these things in my presentation today. And fortunately, the first visit Vasudeji I had made to Kanyakumari was in 1986 when we were on scooter traveling across India from Kanyakumari to Kashmir to everywhere. And I still remember 1986 and the way I visited that place. So ancient wisdom is very, very, very powerful. Vivekananda always talked about poor, and we cannot see God unless and until we see the poor. Gandhi also talked about the poorest, Upanishads talked about it, or even Antodaya talked about the last person. So ancient wisdom of the entire civilization we have. is driven by talking about the last person in the society. The trend is buy organic, install solar, drive an EV. These assume privilege. Or I drive a cycle. You are no more I, you are we. In our civilization, in our societies, in our country, Bharat, Hindustan, India, whatever it is, we are we. We are not I. I is coming from Westerns. For billions, who are poor, survival is sustainability. They don't have any option. They don't even get eat food to eat. So sustainability should be a human concept, not a lifestyle upgrade. And this is very fundamental in the current philosophy we need to push. I worked with amazing, iconic people in my life. Fortunately, I worked with Dr. P.V. Sukhatme, one of the greatest statistician, who always said to me that Parag, statistics averages out everything in humanity. For example, somebody earning 1 rupee and somebody earning 100 rupees, two people in this world, the average income is 50 rupees. That doesn't help the guy who earns 1 rupee because he has nothing. And it doesn't matter to a guy who has 100 rupees because anyway it doesn't matter to him. And he wrote a very amazing book called Diet, Disease and Development, where while writing that book, I was very fortunate to be with him. And this was amazing, experience for me. The entire real life, the game, now, unfortunately, Professor Sukhatme is no more with us. But with his vision, what I carried forward was this real life game, which is completely statistically driven. It's algorithm based game. I'm not going to talk about a lot of design of this game because it doesn't matter, because the front end where the people and young people play, that matters the most. But every day I remember Professor Sukhatme and his kind of learning in my life, because many of us are readers. Rahul keeps reading a lot of books. I know Vasudevji is a very must be reading a lot of books. So these two books actually coming from again Western. One was Limits to Growth, which was very fundamental 1970. Donella Meadows and Dennis Meadows, husband and wife, they wrote this book, and first time they used terminology like global warming and something is going to be a disaster in 2000, end of 2000. So it was like a green picture of the earth, what they predicted, and everybody was driven by this book. Limits to Growth is really a mathematical modeling at Harvard, MIT in Boston, and they could mathematically predict something, but it was mathematics, it was not again humanity. On the right, you see a book called Abundance. This guy called Peter Diamandis, amazing book actually, and he has a lot of YouTube videos also. He came out in around, I think, 2003 or 2004, a book called Abundance, and how humans, just don't keep crying and just behave like ostrich, that something is coming and we cannot work on it creatively, innovatively. And he came out with a book called Abundance. So these are like, very different philosophies about how we look at the world. One is pessimism and one is optimism. And of course, for learner, both these books and both these thoughts actually help in a big way. But I really like you to maybe refer these books somewhere in your life path. One of the big things people are talking about is the brain, and there is a very small, almond shaped organ called amygdala, which is, you see a cross there, which is driving our emotions. And amygdala is everywhere in animals and human beings. But scientists are saying that amygdala made us survive as human beings and grow, because amygdala is the organ which makes us scared and promotes fear in our life. So those who are like leaders, for example, they can manage their amygdala very well, or amygdala can be managed by meditation. So this is a big, deep philosophy. Now the world can be easily be scared that something is really going wrong by just triggering amygdala. Most of the media, most of the leftist or whatever rightist or whatever leftist people, they know actually how to use amygdala, and people are really researching a lot. So this is just out of the context, but I'm trying to put something why we fail prey to some thoughts easily in this world. Abundance also said that I truly believe that we are living during a time where there is no problem we cannot solve. Like today, for example, we are trying to invent so many things. But if you think about 1,000 years ago, it was difficult. So, he takes this kind of a philosophy where things are possible today. There is enough data available, enough technology available. So why we should not use it? The question I'm going to ask in this presentation is whose sustainability? The critical question is sustainability for whom? For those with homes, security, electricity, water, or for the billions who struggle daily for survival? The narrative is dominated by those least affected by unsustainability. So, this is again a thought I want to put forward. Uh, I will start coming slowly to my philosophy of how real lives really works in this world and how it really impacts the people. Chance of life is again not part of our education. Nobody teaches us actually where we are born. For example, every second there are 4.3 babies. Forget about 4.3. That's not a perfect number. About 260 babies are born in this world per minute across the world. Somebody is born in very drought prone Africa, and somebody might be in Bill Gates' home in Seattle. So you don't decide actually where to be born, what gender, what religion, what family, what country, or what social status. Nobody can decide that. You are just born there. Of course, there is a philosophical explanation for that. Another thing, a lot of quotes help you in your life. So one of the quote I always remember is that you begin with other people's stories and end up with your own. Like I meet Vasudevji, I keep hearing about him, and then I start, learning about from him or from Rahul or from anyone, like even the person you meet on the street, that what is the life these people are imagining and how they are trying to process that life into their reality. So every time you meet people, and that's why you should meet people. Actually, that's the simple explanation about why these quotes work. I hope this video works. This is a kind of introductory video of real lives, how the disparity of this world, how the poor, how the it's a just 2 minutes video. If you don't listen the audio, just tell me and I will shut it off. So let's start.
ऐसा ना मैं के नेताजी से करी जे हमरे का आदमी बना दी ना तो हम का भूखन मर जाब जा.
He said, "You have to go back to your country." I said, "Where is my country? I don't have a country, man. It's a killing ground."
But at that moment, he wasn't a terrorist. He wasn't an insurgent. He wasn't an Iraqi. He was a scared man.
تقدر تسامحيني ده انا قتلت بيك او خيك وما في قانون حسبني بتسامحيني؟
Inventamos una montaña de consumo superfluo y hay que tirar y vivir comprando y tirando. Y lo que estamos gastando es tiempo de vida.
And then I met, to me, the love of my life. And her name was Jen. And gosh, it was just like my world changed.
Sumulin ni panin mo. Lady Nino.
The person who made this film, Yal Bertrand, is a photographer from Paris. I met him in person and we were trying to partner because he has taken photographs and videos of 60 countries, people from 60 countries. Amazing guy. And the UN is currently using his data about how the earth changed over the last 60 years through his photographs. So, like these are the people who are trying to document how the real world is all about. So challenges of the real world, all of us know that there are poor, but this is the photograph I use. These are Pepsi bottles converted by this African guy as chappals. I used it very casually, putting it from internet, and I was showcasing this photograph to a very premium design institute in Germany, in Berlin. And this director said that, Parag, my people are working on Audi and Lufthansa and airports and something like that. I think the next challenge I should give them is how these objects can be recirculated in the life and how they can be made meaningful. We are going to talk to Pepsi about how their bottles could be easily converted into chappals. So innovation is everywhere. Innovation is sorting out problems. I know when I was at Baba Amte's place in Maharashtra, there was a group of IIM students who came, and Baba Amte was telling him, this is way back in 1993, I guess, said that our leprosy patients cannot use spoons and forks and they cannot eat with all these things. So can you design them? So, so empathy is everywhere. When you start seeing empathy, people are talking about it, people are designing tools like that, and people are everywhere using it. For example, this is a map of Earth from satellite. NASA took it for 6 months. So you know immediately where electricity is and where there is no electricity. Electricity has a big impact. If there is vaccine to be given and if there is no electricity and no refrigerator, no fridge available, the vaccine is going to die. The child is going to get polio. So this is the world. You don't know actually how these people are living, where they get water from. This is from South America. These are refugees. About 100 million people are refugees. You cannot even imagine a life of a refugee. The entire life of their children is being a refugee. These are the people who find diamonds and gold from the mines in Africa, and they get maybe less than $1, or sometimes they just don't get anything. And these are the objects we use very easily in our shops, and as a proud to be and privileged to be showing as something we own. These are workers and they are everywhere. We see them in India and everywhere in this world. And carrying 60, 100 kilos for 8 hours, it's not an easy job. They don't survive beyond 30 and 40 at times. This is a hospital in Bangladesh. I was quite shocked as a doctor that how the doctors are going to really work here. This is disparity. This is how it exists. At least there are oxygen cylinders, there are beds, and there are patients. Many of the hospitals I visited in PHCs I visited in India, there are no doctor, there are no rooms, and there is nothing. So it's very, very challenge situation. And plastic, of course, is a great fossil fuel is a great challenge which is emerging. But generally the problems are discussed about the developing countries, or India is not anymore developing. It is third largest economy. But this is from Sacramento, US, California, where $4 trillion companies exist, and this is a church there where 1,000 people come every day at 6 in the morning to sleep. The church opens them to make them sleep. These are homeless people. Can you imagine $4 trillion companies in this place, only small place like California, where there are a huge number of homeless who find a church as a place where they want to sleep? Then, of course, the sea is polluted in a big way. So today's world, it's creating disparity, greed, use of intelligence in evil way, control. I want to control everything, supremacy, and much more. And then all these young people using mobiles and becoming narcissistic. It's a generation which is me, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, whatever you call them. And like they did research on monkeys, and monkeys could easily use mobile phone very easily. They were swiping the images, they were looking at the videos. So this is not AI generated video. This is a real video of how we are actually addicted to something which even monkeys can do so easily. We are also manipulating algorithms. That how the algorithms are tweaked on media and everywhere, so that we get fooled. And then Cambridge Analytica and all these big companies, how they are using us as objects and how they are trying to shape our mind and behavior in a very wrong way. So this is how it is coming from all West. The Facebook has narcissistic effect in a big way. So the question I started asking, should young be consumers or change makers? Everybody is buying on Amazon. It's very easy and it comes to your doorsteps. And when you are going to talk to this lady who is trying to sell a vegetable on the street, who is trying to survive, so you know how these consumers are going to be the change makers. I'm not going to show this film because we have short of time.
Friday shop.
But this is amazing film. Somewhere in the workshop I can do that. But a lot of people are talking about empathy. Barack Obama said that empathy deficit is more of a worry than federal deficit. $20 trillion economy, and the president is talking about empathy. Amazon, Jeff Bezos talks about empathy in a different way. Employees lacking empathy will be instantly purged, because entire Amazon business, if they don't talk properly to their customers, it is going to collapse. So he needs empathy for his employees, otherwise they will be removed. And the last is, I met this guy, CEO of Ben and Jerry's, the ice cream in US, because he donated about $5 million to Ashoka. Empathy is not simply the flavor of the month. This is a very strong statement these people are making. I'm just using the Western world, how they are talking about empathy. And I was invited to a hospital in Chennai by Apollo, the nursing college, as a keynote speaker. And these nurses were showing me this. I first time I could not understand what is this. And then they said, we ask these to wear by husbands whose wives are pregnant. So they imagine how their wives are feeling and how they really navigate through their day-to-day activities. And they have to wear it for at least 2 days, not or for a week. And when they come back, they really change their attitude towards their wives. So this is very interesting, object I found as a very high empathetic object. It's a little bit about my life. Rahul already talked about it, but generally everybody of us are curious about real world. I am very curious about real world. I talk to people, I travel. So first thing in 1986 we did was travel all over India on scooters to see actually what the India is all about. With Rahul. Rahul was all of us, like 35 of us, were in Punjab. We met Bhindranwale, we spent time with him. We have seen the actual terrorism happening in 1983-84, Operation Blue Star, how young people become terrorists, why they become terrorists. Appa Bense was visionary, sending us to there. This was a life-changing experience for me at the age of 21, and maybe Rahul was 18 or 19. So these are the kind of eye-openers to the real world. You will never get this into schools. I don't know to show this photo. I met this girl Komli while doing my medical anthropology fieldwork, and Adivasi girl. Her smile changed my life. I met her in 1991, and even when Bill Gates invited me to share my vision of real lives at Seattle in California, I showed this photo. So last 30 years, more than 30 years, I have not forgotten this girl. Because one thing was shocking to me, that despite such a poverty, the smile was such a great. So you don't need money to smile in life. That is the biggest message I got. Of course, there is a big story about this girl, which I think maybe some other time again. Afghanistan, again the big eye opener. So this is the largest standing Buddha in Bamyan. The Silk Road goes from this place, from China to Europe, and from India, of course. So I was there, and I think here I was thinking about how I should change my life from being a doctor to someone else, where we can possibly go global and do the biggest impact in the world. So Afghanistan again is a big story of my life. I was there for almost 3 times in a very serious situations. And once I was supported by the Indian embassy in Afghanistan, and these are our Jawans with the fanciest cars where nobody can harm them. This was the hospital Rahul was talking about with Vivekananda philosophy. Of course, Gnam Pradhi is driven by that. This was the core group, and now this is Dinanath Mangeshkar, which is the biggest hospital in Pune. So experience of real lives of the people is what is driving me. And then I decided that I should leave medicine and I should go in education. So around 2002, this was a very strong thought I had. So being a doctor to being an IT entrepreneur. So I started my company about 23 years ago. And it was a game company, because as Rahul said that we met on a playground. Games can really change the world. I firmly believe that, because games are very powerful and they can instill the skills you will never learn in the classroom or from the books. So this is a very powerful methodology. This is my first table. I think maybe Rahul has designed it. I don't know, but these are the few photos, and this is my creative group of people. I really enjoyed last 23 years. Sometimes I don't even remember how I spent last 23 years so fast in my life. So, and this is Ashok Nirfarake, the psychologist from Nan Prodhani, who always helped me. Even today morning, I was talking to him, and he shaped a lot of the empathy part of psychology in my project. So these are the kind of people who otherwise are really great in their own life, were useful in many ways. So context of real life is very important. Modern Times is a movie where Charlie Chaplin depicted how the education system makes you do a job which is 8 hours and you do actually nothing as human brain. Human brain is so powerful, more than so many thousand times greater than squirrel, who can also jump from one tree to another tree, and we are kind of caged into working 8 hours doing nothing. So just a few things you do and you get your salary. I don't know how many of you can see this chart, but this is very interesting research, very fundamental research people did about how people look at the world and how education is narrowing their vision about the world view, we call it. So if you see next week, next few years on x-axis, and family, neighborhood, race, nation, and world, you will see very few people are imagining about children's lifetime and the world, because we are getting restricted to ourselves so much that I want to earn something, I want to protect my family, and despite we have this amazing beautiful brain and the body, we are not able to go beyond ourselves to do something bigger in this world. And these are the skills people are talking in 2030 or 2025. If you see these skills, nobody's talking about technical skills. Everybody's talking about future readiness, empathy, emphasis on soft skills, interdisciplinary learning. So, the world is changing very fast, and that's how you see the turmoil is happening right now. So how we are going to bring these things into education? It's not about environment project, which where the sustainability is so minuscule in this entire thought. It's much more deeper than deeper level, which is values. And unless until we talk about values, we are not going to really make this world sustainable. So this is the premise of why empathy is important in the discussion we are going to do today. So you cannot just talk about empathy and give a speech about empathy and then imagine people can live. So we started working on the solution, and this is where the work comes in. So Real Lives is a global life simulation that allows users to be born anywhere on Earth. It reveals how chance of birth shapes opportunity, dignity, and survival. So this is how the game is. As I said, I'm not going to go big way into game, but what I started feeling over the time is that sustainability fails when divorced from human experience. Empathy creates responsibility, responsibility creates action. Realize, operationalize empathy by letting people live the lives of others. So this is where, the simple definition of empathy is you walk in the shoes of other person. So how you make it walk, unless and until you really experience that. So this is the game methodology we use in a very powerful way. So Real Lives with this logo is a very amazing. It's the largest gamified simulation engine of the human experience on the planet, and now we are building it on AI, which is going to be amazing. So somewhere another lecture I would talk about it. So live a life of someone else. So this is how Real Lives is shaped. this is the video which was done by some young people. I will mention their names later. So this is the design of real life, that life doesn't start with equal chances. Somebody is poor, somebody is rich. Life is full of events and decisions we take. Life is full of choices, and life is always dynamic. We get surprises and we get suddenness in life. And then this is how the decisions in real lives happen. They are about career, leisure, relationships, finance, residence, education. There is a big data from 193 countries, as Rahul said, coming. This data is generally a statistical data with dryness into build. So we created empathy out of this data. And this is the innovation we are setting up in this world, about how this statistical data can be converted into stories. Sustainable development goals data, nobody knows, even those who work in sustainability, that something like 40,000 or 50,000 data points exist in UN SDGs data, and we have that entire data into our game. So you could imagine, how this game is so diverse, so amazing, that even 12-year-old boy can play it. A lot of schools, a lot of universities are using it, and I'm going to mention that later. So it basically, as I said, this data creates life stories of people who are actually trying to survive. This is the beauty of the game. The evidence is building up. We are everywhere in the world, from Canada, US, UK, Switzerland, India, Philippines, Japan, Australia, more countries. I'm going to mention few case studies about, just to impress you about how we are working. So this is ETH, the university in Zurich in Switzerland, where Einstein studied and taught. And I was very fortunate to take the workshop in the room where Einstein actually created his theory of quantum physics. So this is a professor from there who met me suddenly in a conference in Amsterdam, in a cancer conference. And he said, Parag, I want to bring empathy to my students who are in microbiology. They always look through the microscope and they don't know actually what the real world is. So these are the kind of champion people you meet, and we need some brave professors and brave teachers who can really change this world in a different way. So this was a completely SDG driven real-life workshop at ETH Zurich. Amazing workshop. We in fact actually ended up creating a course at ETH, and this course still runs. And there are professors who are running this course now. And I was one of the faculty members they invited to do this course in Switzerland. And this is one of the photos from that course at ETH. Amazing. The students were zapped. One of the very interesting things I created with this professor was this glass room right in the center of the university, where students could come up with their ideas and put their ideas as a showcase of ideas. Room still exists in the university, and I'm very fortunate with this professor that we invented this room. And these are the kind of things we need in our universities in India, that how these young people can innovate or create something which is going to change this world fundamentally different. And these are the kind of mentoring I used to do with the students who are very brilliant students from Europe coming there. And these students printed, without my knowledge, these t-shirts called I am a change maker. And this is what actually I dream about, that how these young people can start talking to themselves as change makers. And these are the t-shirts on the front side, where each one of them will, you see the companies they are trying to develop, and these are all social companies where they no don't want to go to the corporates or Novartis or the big pharma companies, because these are microbiology students, but they want to work with the people. And this is a big contribution we did, our project did, in completely revamping and restructuring the university, which is a $5 billion university, into something different. And this is a report the professor wrote called Change in Perspective, Real Lives Learning from Being Born in a Different Place on the Earth. This is a very amazing report. It really makes me goosebump when I read it anyway. This is our Korea entry. And I don't know how many of you know that Tagore is highly respected in South Korea. He wrote a very small poem somewhere around 1928 called Lamp of the East when Koreans met him. And they said that we need some motivation from Indian culture and Indian philosophy. And he wrote this small poem, which is on the left side of the, if you just Google it, you will get it. And Korea, when I go there even today, they say that the entire South Korea came up as a country because of this small five-line poem which Tagore wrote. So this is the front page of our website for Korea, and this is my team in Korea, where we all worked very hard last 8 years now. And these are the kind of workshops we are doing across South Korea. The real life also exists in South Korean language now, Korean language. So these are sustainable development workshops young people are concentrating on. These are the few of the professors who are working with us, uh, developing empathy. They never used empathy in their entire universities or their curriculum, but now they started using it. These are the teacher workshops we are doing everywhere in Korea. These are the students, amazing students, young Koreans who can play games very well, and all of them they are saying there are a lot of research papers happening in Korea right now. Anyways, so, amazing evidence. This is another professor from Hanyang University. This is video. Anyway, so some schools in Korea are using it. This is a Catholic school, and I was very zapped. The chairman said that para last 100 years our schools exist, but we never used the word empathy and we never used a project like real lives. And this is a teacher called Mihan Yang. She is now doing a real project in Africa about how to solve the problem of water crisis in Tanzania. So this is all coming out of, very difficult to explain, but this is all coming out of real lives. These are the young Korean students from a school. This is a digital school in. This is another professor, economics professor, Nancy Yu, from Korea University, one of the topmost in Korea. And just yesterday, I shared with Vasudevji. This is a amazing research paper she has published, which actually supports our vision that effects of a game-based empathy education program linked to sustainable development goals. Now, this is going to change fundamental behavior of UNESCO and United Nations if we have more papers. There is another research which is happening in Sweden right now. We have now big MOU with Korea University. This is in Bangkok Medical College, and the professor who is right in front of you, and the students who are so excited, they play real lives amazingly well. And in a place like Bangkok, nobody could imagine that this project is working so well. Research on where real life, there are 10 research papers across the world coming from prestigious universities, and there is a doctoral thesis, PhD, in Germany on real lives. There is a book written by a Canadian author called Catherine Baker on real lives, big book, about $100 book. I met some Nobel Prize winners. These are two Nobel Prize winners who are my mentors and who really helped me to shape my vision about the real lives. And he is a guy called Lee Hartwell. He got his Nobel Prize in cancer genetics in 2001, and he's such an amazing friend now that he keeps inviting me to US, to Arizona State University, and to faculty programs and talking to students. And he really made my life. Another very big Nobel Prize winner is called James Heckman. He's an economist, but he works in education. And he invited me to Chicago University to present real lives. And my first opening statement at Chicago University was that just 5 kilometers from here, Vivekananda was here in Chicago, and he was surprised. And we had a big dinner talk about Vivekananda and the man-making education he was talking about, and how that philosophy we are trying to build in real lives. Another guy from UNESCO is Professor David Gibson. I'm just mentioning names, because I really want to pay tribute to these people. 13 United Nations universities started using real lives now. So I keep traveling to Japan and other places to keep this Indian experience. So I met this amazing guy. This is third time I met him when he was a prime minister. I had a one-to-one meeting for 1 hour with him about real lives and how it can fundamentally change education in India. This is 2020 when NEP, the National Education Policy, was being designed. And Modi ji, after my meeting, immediately said that Parag, meet Hiren Joshi and give me a report, work for the next 6 months, and give me a report how empathy can be part of NEP. And if you read the document of NEP even today, empathy, social emotional learning is a very integral and deep part of the NEP policy. So I'm very happy that real lives and my meeting with Mr. Modi was amazing. One of the great, I met 3, 4 prime ministers of India. Even I think Rahul met 1 or 2. But this is the first prime minister. In our 1 hour talk, I was the person who was talking, and he was taking notes on his writing pad. I was so shocked, when I learned a lot of things. And these are the, like I was saying in the beginning, that you learn from the people all the time, that how convicted you are and how motivated you are. So this is one. We have a big workshop at IIT recently, and the students were zapped. This is the some of the photographs from there who the students are playing real lives. These are the two girls who created something as an NGO out of that entire workshop process. This is the project Vasudevji and Rahul was mentioning about sustainable building evaluation tool. So over the time, like this is a project we started in 2002, about 23 years ago, when nobody was even talking about sustainability. Unfortunately, the part in India is that nobody came as a funding for this project, and the project collapsed because there was no money left. So like this is a pain, sorrow when I really look at India today. It's a $5 trillion economy, could be. In Pune alone, there are more than $25 billion people exist. Thermax, Kalyani, you name the people and they are here. 25 billionaires in my city of Pune. There are people who have more than 100 crores. I heard the number, it is like something like 5,000 people in this city who have more than 100 crores with them. And they are just sitting on it. They are not putting that money on innovation. They are not supporting anyone. They are just, investing again and again and making money on it. And such beautiful projects, which are fundamentally amazing projects, are dying out because there is no money. So the last part of the my presentation is data is not new oil. Everybody talks data as new oil, but I say that data is empathy, and I'm pushing this very hard in this world that even Reliance talks about data as new oil. So it's a very difficult domain I'm talking about. I'll just skip this slide. Real Lives gets a lot of awards. So this is recent award we got in Finland as the one of the most innovative and scalable project in education across the world. Real life is about full of nobler instincts, the goodness. It's about empathy, social emotional skills, global citizenship, understanding, knowing and feeling the real world, reforming education, equity, disparity, inspiring young people to be change makers, and social entrepreneurship. Big fight, we are fighting against bad and insulting games like Blue Whale, PUBG, where the young people are committing suicide, they get arrogant, they get narcissistic, they get depressed. Games that hurt women dignity. There was a game which existed, how to rape a woman. Can you imagine that? The brilliant guys who have gifted intelligence, studied at the best universities in the world, creating such harmful content in the humanity is not really wanted. Game sucking out money from young people, gambling. So recently, out of my report, Nirmala Sitaramji has banned these gambling games, rummy and gambling. Huge money. You see the and their addiction. So, I think Ajay Phatak, who was the last speaker, is not here, but he's one of the person at Economics Institute, Gokhale Economics Institute at Pune. And Vasudevji, this is unfortunate. We proposed a model called Pune model, and I met the director. I don't want to take name, and he said, "What is the connection of empathy and sustainability?" And this is where I started feeling that how badly we are driven by the Western concept of sustainability, where empathy is not even mentioned, and these are the fights we are fighting, right now. So this is a department of sustainability. I am doing workshop, my team is doing workshop across the world, but we are not doing a single workshop at this institute, which is the Sustainability Institute. So not that I am depressed, I will fight it out, but I just wanted to mention very upfront how we are taking it. So Real Lives really promotes change making driven by empathy, which is finding a hero in each of us. And the purpose of education, everybody talked about, is the finding hero in what I am, what I can do in this world. Rahul is a brilliant architect. I am a brilliant social IT entrepreneur. My son is someone else. So coming to my son, I'm very fortunate that my son is also talking, and he's driven by, of course, Rahul's philosophy of architecture. But this is a small video of him where he talks about sustainability in a very small way, and I really like it what he says. So this is one of his house, mud house, he has created with that.
One of the learnings from DB was that the house should be like a set where life can take place. So it should blend as much as possible. It shouldn't stand out. The house shouldn't be an identity in itself. It should just provide a space for that person's life to happen. The definition of sustainability that I was taught by the is you do whatever is possible from your side and then a little more. So that is what sustainability is. There's no one end goal. There's no one way to do it. There's always a spectrum.
So, like this is how I learn from young people. Our vision is moonshot dreams, what Kennedy called in 1963, and how America changed. He said that we really want to go to the moon, and 1970 they were on the moon. So we want to reach 50 million young and youth globally who are driven by empathy and who are driven by this germ of how I can change the world. It's not about degrees and it's not about getting a job anymore. It's about how I can change this world because we are gifted with amazing intelligent brain which can really work very hard. And the great value of empathy we want to really spread across the world. This is what the vision is. So empathy is humanity's oldest wisdom and our newest necessity because we have lost it over the time. Let's grow away from sustainability as a Western fear because Western sustainability arises from fear of losing comfort. Ancient and poor societies lived sustainability for millennia, thousands and thousands of years. We must shift from fear driven sustainability to empathy driven sustainability, which is more proactive and positive. Let's learn from poor and our own philosophies. As I said in the beginning, it's a lighthouse of humanity, and we should create more such lighthouses across the world. Of course, in India, where the humanity which is confused and looking for answers can come and find what they want to really do in the future. Nothing is more urgent than empathy. One of the quote which I want to mention and which drives me, I like Apple for some reason. And this is a story from Steve Jobs, where he want to hiring a marketing guy for Apple. And he met this guy called John Scully. And out of their 6 meetings, nothing was working out because John Scully was the CEO of Pepsi that time. And one of the last questions Steve Jobs asked him, and which I keep asking myself, and I think all of us can do that, is that do you want to sell sugared and colored water rest of your life, or do you want to come with me and change the world? Because our job is not to sell sugared and colored water, which is just even rats or even the smallest animals in this world can do. Our job is how we are going to change the world, and this is the quote which drives me. So be the change makers and let's do this world amazing place. Thank you.
Parag, thanks for expanding our vision. You have so much to give. I think we'll require 2, 3 more webinars from you if time permits. I know you are globe-trotting.
No, I am always available.
Very good. Not only that, we are going to have one webinar by your son Amol also, surely. Now,
Yes.
before I should not take more time, I will hand over to our Madan Kumar to coordinate the question answer session. Over to Madan.
Yeah, thank you, Parag for your inspiring talk. In which I recall our Swami Dayananda Saraswati used to say, Dharma is nothing but empathy, putting yourself in other shoes. And that is what his spirituality is all about. That's how Swami Dayananda Saraswati used to tell me during his classes to me. In fact, that echoed during your own conversation, where in which the practice of that, how best it could be expressed at different levels in the academic and in the international community, was a learning thing for us. And we at our own pace and we at our own levels of understanding, we have been pursuing in our own spiritual thing or in our own cultural conditioning that this empathy is being a part and parcel of our lives. But somewhere with the advent of the Westernism, where minimal things of to be taken care by our own, to our own parents or to our own kith and kin is becoming a very, very big phenomena, where in which there is a big gap is there. So that is one area. So as you rightly said, be the change you want to make. The change starts with us at home. Change starts with us in terms of be empathizing, in terms of less consumeristic, being addressing the needs of the others in our own family, addressing the needs of the community, bringing the maximum good for the biggest number. These are the philosophies which being always taught. Starting with it, we are in a snail space, but we are happy that we are contented with our place. Not that contented, we are thinking and believing that this space, if it is good, definitely it will change things. As you rightly said, the games part of it. In fact, we recall our Kendra days, where in which Dattaramji is one, where his games have been a source of inspiration for us. Those who have been there to Vivekananda Kendra between 1986 to say about 2015 or something, where which everybody during the Shibir they would have experienced our Dattaramji games, where games brings more closer. The games, as you rightly said, games bring very closer and we understand each other. In fact, recently there was a conversation with Vasudevji. Can we skip the games and morning prayer or yoga like that in our workshop? I said that is the only thing which brings us together in terms of thinking about the other person. So we should not skip it. So my only prayer is that your thought has been inspiring and we need to start at our own levels. I look forward from our colleagues and friends who have been this working group for the 163rd meeting. So to have interaction and to have a dialogue with you. Over to our colleagues to share their viewpoints or reflections or their perceptions. Over to my friends. Yes, sir.
Namaste Parag ji.
Namaste.
My name is Sanjay Banerjee. I was teaching sustainable development at Management Institute in Coimbatore. Now I have retired, but I tell you, it's a fantastic learning for me, and I would like to just figure out how is it possible to have this game played in our university, Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham University. How that can be done? Could you please let us know?
Yeah, it's very easy. We can get in touch. We run these workshops with the professors because our model is that if we do something from our side, that doesn't sustain in the university thing. So I always work with the professors from that university who are interested, who are motivated, and then we can do the first pilot with some say 100 or 200 students, and we can take it forward. Our cost of license is nothing. If you see, it's only maybe 100, 200, 300 rupees per student for a year, which is not even a cost of pizza. Recently, I did one of the biggest workshop in Bangkok with 1,000 students from 3 universities. And recently, we are also invited by a big Malaysian topmost university called UKM to do the workshop with around 20,000 students. So we are discussing with that. And currently in Pune, we are talking to Symbiosis because they want to start a course on Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And there are 50,000 students. Real lives could be one of the game changer as a project. So I can discuss with you the modalities and how we can do it. And we can do it very fast. I would jump on it because unfortunately, hardly any university is coming forward in India because it's very narrow-minded and very bureaucratic.
Sir, how much time will it take for one workshop?
So I can do a workshop with my team, which is 4 hours, which we did in IIT, or there is a possibility of a workshop which is like 5 days. So that depends on how flexible the university is. The 4 hour workshop is also equally powerful, but we cannot do certain like what I did as a course in ETH in Zurich was more comprehensive. If somebody is open as a sustainability department to do that such a course, then actually we can design the entire learning and pedagogy process about how the students can be engaged.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, very much. Thank you very much. I told you earlier I am retired, but I will get in touch with my sustainability people now at the university, and then maybe we'll start with this 4 hour workshop, and then depending upon the take up, we'll see how we can go forward. So I request, Madanji to have your contacts posted so that we can get in touch. And fantastic learning, sir. Really grateful to you.
Yeah. Dhanyawad. Any other questions?
Narendra Joshi raised his hand earlier.
Yes, namaste. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you, Parakchi. It was really wonderful, and uh, it was in a way eye opener. Even though we know this aspect of sustainability, but still it was very important to see through the visuals. And what you rightly said is highest intelligence is today busy catering to the lower instincts of the common masses, and in a way misused rather than being used for this. I would like to know how to get associated with such efforts, and how we can actually contribute.
Can I know a little bit more about you? Because in the introduction, I was missing that.
I'm a Vivekananda Kendra Karyakarta. I was full timer for 5 years in Northeast, and that's how I'm associated already. And I was in teaching field. My total experience is about 34 years. So I'm in teaching and in research. I'm in Mumbai basically.
Okay.
I'm from technical engineering side, but now into
Yeah.
all these aspects, IKS and sustainability.
No, working with us is now very easy because we are a non-profit foundation. We are a Section 8 company. And therefore, a lot of volunteers across the world work with us. And we can discuss about it, how we can collaborate. For example, if you are in teaching and you are in Mumbai, we can try some kind of pilot projects, as I said, in like, for example, Narsi Monji Institute was interested. IIT Mumbai is interested.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
so we can do something together about it for sure.
Surely. Thank you so much.
We can get in touch. I think Vasudevji
Yeah,
can
I will
share
through
the
Asmej and Madanji, I will get the
yeah.
details.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madan थोड़ा
Madan,
बोलना है. Yeah.
You are mute.
Hi, Parag.
Hi.
It was an interesting game, and the way you started off from sustainability and how empathy can increase sustainability. I was even telling my daughter, she was asking me about it, and we are amazed that you're doing this. Thank you for all your work in
Yeah.
a fun way. I was just wondering, you said workshops. Are these physical workshops, or can these be done online, sir?
No, so of course this is a cloud-based game. You are from software, so you will understand this language. So a lot of universities in Korea, Japan, and everywhere they use directly download the game, use it on their app, mobile app. For example, the biggest university in US, Kennesaw in Georgia, Atlanta, all the departments are using real lives. But we also do physical workshop because they are more, face to face and more vision and philosophy bringing. So that's possible. But of course, there is a little bit more cost to that. But they are more meaningful than the cloud-based versions. And what we are doing is the teachers and professors run the workshop, not me or not my team. Yeah.
So I come from a business background, so I thought we can probably introduce these games to the Rotary clubs and other business forums where people are actually we are forming groups to do social work. This empathy game can help us all get in the same sync. So we cannot have a physical workshop. The online ones will help. So I'll
Yeah.
visit your website. I'll take your website and I'll see how to use it, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I will share the website also.
Yes. Thank you.
One of the things, Vasudevji and Madanji, is I met Ratan Tata. This is 2018. And he was such a sharp guy. He said, Parag, we run a program called Task Fellows, Tata Administrative Services, which is similar to IAS programs. So can you take the workshop, one day induction workshop of these 70 people who are going to be the next leaders of Tata? And that was one of the workshop I was running for 4 years. So we are actually trying to approach now corporates because a lot of young people are working there, and how we can really bring this empathetic concern to these young people because they are shaping technology, they are creating tools. They need to be empathetic while doing that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Jagdish.
Pranam to all, pranam to Paragji. Paragji, you gave a completely different dimension to the sustainability. And I was quite deeply moved. I mean, while and almost to tears, looking at some of your slides. And as I understand that empathy is a foundation for bringing comfort and dignity to the underprivileged. And if I have to summarize it in one sentence, if sustainability is a body, then empathy is its soul or prana.
Yes.
I mean, that is how I have understood. And I have one question to you is that since you met Shri Modi ji, Prime Minister Modi ji, and you had some almost a 1 hour discussion with him. So, what would you ask these education policy makers of India that how to teach empathy and citizenship to our students to bring a meaningful change to the planet? What will be your advice to our education policy makers?
Yeah, policymakers are bureaucrats. So, their
Yes.
objective is very minimal many a times, because my experience with bureaucrats is not really very amazing, frankly to say. But I had a really very open and very frank discussion with Modi ji, which I really was wondering later in the meeting that how I could say so many things.
Okay.
And one of the things I think he has said to Vinayji Sahasrabuddhe, because he was with me for the meeting, he arranged the meeting. So Vinayji wrote about 4 articles in Lok Satta and other newspapers on real lives and how we can really uh, uh, do something as a policy of this kind. So NEP is one example. But if you see the national education policy today being implemented in the universities and the schools, nobody is bothered about it, because there is no kind of punishment if you don't implement NEP. The Symbiosis is the first university which approached us that how Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and empathy can be built into all students of Symbiosis, which is also in discussion. It is not true. But recently, when I see the Macaulay's, Modi ji talking about the revitalizing the education system in India and bringing the Indian value system into education, which is highly,
Yes.
debated by opposition and whatever because of the politics. But I think all of efforts, like my effort is very small. But what I told Modi ji that if we don't take position right now in 20th century, 21st century, and under your leadership, I think we will miss that point. And this national education policy, one of the biggest tasks is how, and therefore the biggest pressure groups are required about how this NEV can be implemented even at the best universities like IIT Mumbai. For example, Jagdish ji, my experience is extremely bad. I don't want to say bad experiences here, but I was talking to the entrepreneurship department at IIT Mumbai. I sent about 10 emails and there is not a single reply coming from the professors. This is the kind of a situation we are into. So solving this problem about how the academics, the professors, the teachers can be open to innovation, open to something, open to learning rather than teaching, because the teaching has changed. So there the friction is. So I don't know, like we are also struggling very fast about talking to Dharmendra Pradhan ji about the education policy and how it can be implemented. And there are small projects happening everywhere. For example, Ekal School. So I fortunately met some people from Ekal School, and without real life, they can do something because they are in the villages and under the tree and those kind of setups. For them, do the empathy as a value into their curriculum is very easy. So they don't require real lives. So real life is required in a very prestigious and high elite institutes like Symbiosis or IIT, this kind of thing. But your thought is perfect, and I don't know, like this middle layer between we operating at the ground level and the topmost prime minister and PMO's office.
Policy maker.
That how to navigate
To
that?
bridge it. Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Great. Great. I get.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
प्रकाश जी बोलिए.
Pranam, you wanted to show. I don't know whether I am presentable or not. Just message.
You are.
Pranam Pragji, it has really indeed been very very fascinating to listen you, and a lot of lessons can be learned from your life journey, particularly from a young man who was traveling across India to get the first-hand experience. It reminded me of the motorcycle diaries of Simon Bolivar when he was traveling whole South America that way also that time. A great understanding of these things. I have two, three fundamental points which I thought that I must speak here. One is that basically what you are doing and what you expected to do is the dovetailing value system in the education or in the young minds. If I remember my childhood or other that what value system my parents and my old people have told us is the daya, chama, dhriti, paropkar, karuna, aparigraha. These were imbibed in our value system since our very childhood, and it make impact on our every sphere of life, whether we are in the government service or whether we are working somewhere else or in other places. That makes a lot of difference in that, isn't it? So, and in the modern times, the sustainability, how it evolved over the period of time, if you see, and two, three books I remember here, which really my thinking process had deep impact on that. I read The Wealth of Nations by Adam
Yeah,
Smith long back,
correct.
and in 1770s, somewhere like that. There was one quote which was often quoted by people is that the concept of invisible hand.
Hmm.
What they say that every person is pursuing their self-interest.
Hmm.
And there is an invisible hand that will make the society in order.
Hmm.
Do not necessarily work for that ki I have empathy and I start working for other people. So I say no. If you honestly pursue your personal pursuit, then society will take care that who are not equal opportunity, not having equal opportunity, the society will take care of that. And there is some invisible hand concept, and this is a very good phrase, and the way he has articulated is really amazing that way also.
Very
The whole
interesting. Hmm.
the whole concept of market started from that also.
Yeah.
And if you see the best of the invention in this era after industrial revolution have come from the market concept.
Hmm.
Whether it is with Bill Gates or Steve Jobs and others,
Yeah.
every day you are working on a new product that how you optimize your profits.
Hmm.
But it has very very positive impact on the humanity. That is
Yeah.
one way or other. So this is a way of thinking that how we look at the things and how we work on these concepts. That is one way of thinking. Secondly, for a common mortal person, not going beyond, you mentioned that key, me to the nearby and nearby to the global perspective. So these are something, look at, I close my eyes and imagine my small village. I'm from the central Himalayas somewhere, I'm sitting here. Uh, so where people live in life, looking in the ground, villages, but these all values are imbibed in them in a very, very
Yeah,
great
yeah.
way. Nothing
Yes.
at all. How things makes a difference, isn't it? Eh? So now here comes that whether the education system really require a special emphasis on empathy only, or it is a completely cultural perspective which is imbibed in the society itself. That is one thing. Second book which I like to quote is that way back when I was studying in this somewhere, uh, 2009 or so, I read a book called Black Swan by the
Black.
Nicola.
Correct.
It says that there are a lot of impact of the extreme effect on our life, and we always look for the simplistic answers to that. What's
Hmm.
the what's that? It is not simple that there is always some black swan events or some extreme events in our life, and then we look for some adjusting ourselves. So now the question comes to this whole model that whether empathy is the only parameter which needs to be looked into in the concept of sustainability, or it is a whole ecosystem of the complete value chain system which has to be imbibed in the society itself. So
Yeah.
so looking at the mechanically the 17 this SDGs and thereafter the data points at the same time, to me, what is the question that what is how to treat the cause basically. So it is my observation. I thought that I shall share this observation, and I have no definitive answer for it. But certainly, I'm very happy to come across a person like you in this forum. Great experience, value for the young generation and for all of us.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this.
Thank you. मैथाली जी आपका क्या क्या करते हैं आप? Because your comments are so deep and so simply put, very nice.
I served with the government of India for more than 3 decades and more than that. I came in the government of India. I was there. I came in touch with respected Basdevji and others in early 90s and just our end of the 80s. And since then, we interact. That's all. And I superannuated in 2021 and decided to come at this place. And I'm staying here since then. Thank you very much.
Where are you actually?
It is a small place called Gopeshwar in district Chamoli, bordering district to China. So
Okay.
my
Because
father had
my son works in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh and all that area with mud housing. So he
Okay.
keeps traveling there.
My father had built a small house and I'm staying in there with my wife. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Prakash is a very humble person. He retired as advisor to Ministry of New and Renewable Energy Sources.
Oh.
And he was a key member when our Modi ji did that solar aim with France, the mission, solar mission.
Yes, yes.
He did all the groundwork behind the scene.
Oh.
So he retired as an advisor in MNRE.
I remember going to Ministry of Renewable Resources in 1996, and we got a project for the hospital, which was running the photovoltaic pump, and that was a very good experience of me in the ministry, which was next to the sports stadium, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are right. Actually, it is at Lodi garden area. Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Great. वासुदेव जी बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. This group is very studied and deep thinkers.
Namaste, Parag ji.
Yes.
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam itself is based on empathy.
Yeah.
And empathy, as Prakash ji rightly said, is based on how sensitive you are, first of all, to yourself. And then the moment you become sensitive to yourself, you understand there are people around you who are probably going through more difficult times than yourself. And then that's how it becomes an empathy. And you start, as you rightly pointed out, you start wearing their shoes and experiencing their pain and gain. And I personally feel that what is this wonderful game, real life game, appears to be extremely important, and it's working. As you are satirically selling, it sells outside. It's becoming very popular outside. But somehow or the other, we Indians are so bogged down with looking at the West. Swami Vivekananda used to tell that unless and until you start speaking from the West, probably we don't learn. And maybe these Koreans and Swiss people and other people whom you are interacting with and who are making the game popular, probably we'll get inspired from them.
Yeah.
And they'll come to know the origin of the game lies in India and lies in our deep roots of cultural roots of our cultural roots. Consequently, we have to work on both sides. The real game probably is available only for the people who are elite or people who have availability of computers and other things which are necessary there. The other thing would be not the formal education, because I also was with education for a long time. Initially, from 76 to 89, I was associated with the Vivekananda Kendra. And we have Vasudevji happens to be my very dear and intimate friend and also a colleague. So we worked in a place called as Hurda. It's a village in Rajasthan. We used to allow the CBSE, curriculum for the teaching methods, but also we used to have interaction with children, and probably entirely different, not related to curriculum at all. We used to talk to the children, and that made a lot of difference. So both these your vast experience and the work which you are doing, as well as the people who are in the education, who are not so privileged to have computer literacy or other things, probably talking, more than talking, if we become living examples, in front of them,
Yes.
the children learn. Because I always say that children don't learn from your words. They learn from your behavior. They learn from your body language, how you live. And if the teachers become living examples, I think that both these two-pronged attack can be a wonderful thing for the present ailment which the humanity is going through. In
Yeah.
fact, yesterday only I was remembering that Modern Times by Charlie Chaplin, and it's good that you showed that visual here. So it's interesting how we are becoming so mechanical, so slowly and steadily the finer emotions are going up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
One of the thoughts I always say, which needs research, is that industrial revolution started killing empathy, because industrial revolution wanted jobs and people doing jobs in the industries. So the entire industry, entire education was changed to creating jobs and not creating leaders or change makers. So that's the, that possibly phase is going out now. The second important point you said, and which I am also, when I talk to young students across the world, I realize that education is changing in a big way. They don't need any a professor or a teacher coming to the classroom. That will exist, of course, that has a Gurukul and all sorts of things. But the students are learning on themselves. I know a lot of students. I was surprised. I also always get surprised. I got a email from a student in Bihar saying that I am a deaf student, but I can play your game because it's in text simulation game, and I want a free version because I cannot afford it. So I had a call with him just last week, asking him actually where did you get this idea about the game and how did you learn it and why you want it. And I was happy to hear about his thoughts about the world and how he wants to learn about the world and where he was searching something and he found my game. And you are right, actually. This game is more for where empathy is really at stake in the most international schools and where we want to make students feel how empathy is going to be important. It's very difficult to go there and teach something like empathy. But like Maithani was saying, Mr. Maithani, that in the villages and in the poor schools, we are actually experiencing day to day how empathy can be expressed and learned. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Parag ji, in one of your slides, I think, are you defining empathy as daya? I saw
No, no,
somewhere that
no,
no, yeah,
no.
yeah,
So
because
like somebody was saying that if you can drive these skills, which are daya, kshama, shanti, and
yeah,
soft skills, as we or socially emotional skills. Yeah.
yes.
So empathy is.
So,
We were trying to find a word for empathy before we met Modi ji. So
yeah.
it's saha
I think Karuna, see, Daya has got a little bit selfish angle.
Yeah.
And Karuna, what our all saints, demonstrated is they lived their life with Karuna to the, entire world. So Karuna would be maybe a little bit closer than Daya.
But like Vasudev used two words, empathy and sympathy, and there is a big
Ah,
difference. Empathy doesn't make you directly help that person, but
hmm.
empathy starts making you realize what is the challenge this person or this situation is facing, and how I
Yes.
can find a solution. The sympathy is also required because you want to help someone very fast somewhere. But sympathy, if we are driven only by sympathy, then people ignore the things, started ignoring. For example, if I see the accident on the road, if I don't have empathy that I will be also in the same accident, I will stop and I will do something there. But if I'm sympathetic and then I don't know how to help that person, then I start imagining legal system and police and everything. That's why people don't stop. So, that's
Yes.
why empathy learning is very important in today's context. That I can
Yes.
stop and I can do something, like at least I can call the police or do something which can help that situation.
So I think, I mean, integrating some of our leading saints' life stories
Yeah, yeah, of course.
will, make this point good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thanks, Parag. I think already it is more than almost 2 hours.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, I wish we should have some couple of more webinars from your side. And one more request I will make, if not for 5 days, at least next year you should come for 4 hour workshop to
Yeah, yeah.
Kanyakumari.
Vasudev, I would be. I'm interested because we can really shape this workshop in some different way with all your experiences and whatever we are doing.
With our core group members, we'll discuss and then we'll come back to you again.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks a lot. Now over to our Sanjay ji for Shanti Mantra.
लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्
धन्यवाद.
All the best. Have a good day. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.